Here's a question nobody's asking out loud, but everyone is quietly terrified about. If AI keeps getting smarter, what's left for you? Not you as a worker, not you as a professional, you as a human being with a particular way of seeing the world, feeling things deeply and understanding people in ways that no manual, no textbook, and no algorithm has ever been able to fully explain. Because here's what's actually happening right now. AI just passed the US medical licensing exam. It's writing legal briefs that senior attorneys are calling impressively sound. It's generating ad campaigns, composing film scores, debugging 10,000-line code bases, all before your morning coffee goes cold. Goldman Sachs estimates 300 million jobs worldwide will be affected by AI automation. McKinsey says 45% of current work activities could be automated with existing technology. The World Economic Forum predicts over 85 million jobs displaced before 2030. And yet, buried inside all of that noise, all of that panic, all of those headlines screaming about the end of human relevance, there is one type of person who keeps quietly slipping through every net that AI tries to cast. One personality, one cognitive blueprint, one way of being human that machines cannot clone, cannot simulate, and this is the part that should genuinely shock you, cannot even fully understand. That personality type is the INFJ. Now look, I know what some of you are thinking. This is just another Myers-Briggs video. It isn't. What we're diving into today goes way deeper than personality labels. We're talking about the actual architecture of the INFJ mind, the specific documented way their brains process reality, and why that architecture is almost paradoxically the most future-proof thing a human being can possess right now. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why the rarest personality type on the planet might also be the one the future desperately needs. 1. The AI takeover nobody prepared for. Maybe you've already felt it. That quiet anxiety. That sense that the ground is shifting under your feet and nobody's telling you where the solid part is. Let's not sugarcoat it. The AI revolution didn't give us much of a warning, did it? One day people were saying AI will never write like a human. The next day, novels written by AI were getting published. One day people were saying AI can't do real creative work. The next day, an AI-generated image won a fine arts competition and professional artists were furious. One day lawyers said AI can't practice law. The next day, law firms were cutting their paralegal departments in half. Customer support agents gone. Junior copywriters restructured. Basic financial analysts automated. Entry-level coders squeezed. Radiologists reading routine scans, being assisted out of relevance. But researchers at MIT, Oxford, and Stanford all keep finding the same pattern. The roles that are growing, the ones that need more humans right now, all share the same invisible thread. They require you to be irreducibly, messily, uncomfortably human. Not smart like a computer, not fast like a processor, but present like a person. Feeling like a person, understanding at a level that bypasses language entirely like a person, and that thread leads straight to the INFJ. 2. Where silicon hits its breaking point. AI is powerful, stupidly powerful, but it's also fundamentally limited in ways most people don't understand. Let me break down AI's 4 dirty little secrets. Secret 1. AI doesn't actually understand anything. Not really. It's a sophisticated pattern-matching engine that predicts what comes next based on statistical correlations. When you're having a deep conversation with an AI, you're not talking to something that comprehends your words. You're talking to an algorithm that's incredibly good at predicting which word should follow which. There's no consciousness there, no genuine understanding, just math. Lots and lots of math. Secret 2. AI fakes empathy like a sociopath at a funeral. Sure, it can generate sympathetic responses, can say the right things at the right moment, but there's no actual caring happening, no genuine emotional resonance, no real concern for your well-being. It's all simulation, impressive simulation, but simulation nonetheless. Secret 3. AI is a prisoner of its training data. Everything it knows comes from patterns in existing information. It's fundamentally backward-looking. Ask it to deal with something genuinely novel, something that doesn't match any pattern in its training, and watch it struggle. It has no intuition, No ability to make creative leaps into truly uncharted territory. Secret 4. AI drowns in ethical complexity. Give it a straightforward optimization problem and it'll crush it. But ask it to navigate a messy moral dilemma with competing values, human emotions, and real-world consequences. It'll give you statistical outputs based on whatever ethical framework it was trained on. But it cannot genuinely wrestle with moral weight. These aren't temporary limitations waiting for the next breakthrough. These are fundamental constraints built into what AI actually is. A tool, not a conscious entity. And INFJs? They are the undisputed masters of exactly the territory AI cannot enter. 3. When algorithms meet human pain. Here's where we need to get really honest, because this is the heart of the whole conversation. AI can perform empathy, can say that sounds really hard at exactly the right moment. It can recognize emotional keywords and respond with warmth-calibrated language. For basic interactions, that simulation can fool people temporarily. But performing empathy and having empathy are not the same thing. And the difference between them is enormous when the stakes are high. Think about what happens when a person is truly falling apart. When they've just lost someone. When their marriage is ending. When they're sitting in a doctor's office getting news they weren't ready for. When they're awake at 3 a.m. with the kind of loneliness that doesn't have a name yet. In those moments, people don't need information. They don't need a correctly formatted emotional response. They need to feel viscerally in their bones that another human being is actually there with them, not processing them, not managing them, not generating a compassionate reply. There with them. INFJs provide that, not as a technique, not as a professional skill they learned in a weekend workshop, but as a core feature of how they exist. When an INFJ is with you in your pain, their nervous system responds to yours. Their breathing shifts. Their energy changes. Something in them genuinely aches alongside you. And you feel that, even if you couldn't explain how, in a way that resets something deep inside you. That's what psychologists call somatic co-regulation. One of the most powerful healing mechanisms human beings have access to. And it requires a human being to deliver it. Specifically, someone with unusually high emotional sensitivity and genuine interpersonal attunement. That description fits the INFJ like a glove. AI can read the words you type, cannot read the silence between them. For they read people like open books. You want to know one of the most disarming things about being around an INFJ? They already know, before you've said anything, before you've decided whether to bring it up, before you've figured out how to word it. They already know something is off. They clocked it in the way you said hello. They felt it in the half-second pause before you answered their question. They notice something has shifted in you since the last time you spoke. Here's a real scenario. An INFJ executive notices that her top performer is subtly disengaged. Nothing obvious, the person still hits deadlines, still shows up to meetings. But something's different. The energy's off. The enthusiasm's forced. Where AI would log productivity metrics normal, the INFJ knows this person is about to quit, potentially 3 months before they hand in their notice. She has time to address it, to dig deeper, to possibly prevent the departure of a key team member. Researchers call this narrative competence, the ability to perceive the story running beneath someone's behavior. Most people see what a person does. People with high narrative competence see why they do it, including the parts the person themselves might not be fully aware of. INFJs have this in abundance. AI can see your data, cannot see your story. 5. Wired with a conscience. Here's a side of INFJs that doesn't get nearly enough attention, and it matters more right now than it ever has. INFJs are, almost by definition, morally serious people. Not moralistic, there's a big difference. They're not lecturing you. They're not performing ethics for social approval. They have a deep, private, almost relentless relationship with questions of right and wrong that has been running since they were children. This means INFJs don't just follow rules. They question rules. They ask whether the rule itself is just, whether the system producing it is fair, whether the outcome it creates is actually good for actual people. And when the answer is no, when they see something wrong, they feel a kind of visceral discomfort that most people around them have somehow learned to ignore. That discomfort is a compass. And in the AI age, compasses are going to matter enormously. Because here's the problem. AI systems can be biased in ways that are invisible until they cause real harm. Algorithms optimize for engagement, not truth. Predictive policing tools are perpetuating racial inequity. Medical AI trained on non-diverse data is misdiagnosing patients from underrepresented groups. All of these problems require humans with moral clarity to catch them, name them, and fix them. Not humans who are technically smart, we have plenty of those. Humans who care in a way that overrides self-interest, professional risk, and social pressure. INFJs are built for that. They've been that their whole lives. In a world full of increasingly sophisticated machines, having a human being with a soul in the room isn't a luxury. It's the last line of defense. 6. Connection as currency. We are more connected than ever and lonelier than we have ever been. How's that for a paradox? Social media promised community but delivered isolation. We've got thousands of online friends but can't remember the last time we had a real conversation. We're drowning in digital interactions but starving for genuine human connection. As automation increases and AI handles more transactions, authentic human connection becomes the ultimate differentiator. The one thing that cannot be automated, packaged, or sold at scale. Think about the difference between chatting with a customer service bot versus talking to a real human who actually listens and solves your problem with genuine care. That feeling of being truly helped versus being processed through a system, that's the INFJ advantage times 1,000. INFJs don't do surface level. Small talk physically pains them. They want to know what drives you, what scares you, what dreams you've abandoned because life got complicated. They see you, not the mask you wear, not the persona you've constructed, but the actual you underneath all of that. INFJs build trust effortlessly because there's no manipulation, no hidden agenda, no script. People feel that authenticity at a gut level. It's like finding water in a desert of artificial interactions. As everything else becomes transactional and automated, depth becomes the new luxury. And INFJs trade exclusively in depth. 7. Vision and creativity that cannot be generated. Let's explode a myth right now. AI isn't creative. Yes, AI can generate images that win art competitions and write poetry that makes people cry. But that's not creativity. That's sophisticated remixing of what already exists. True creativity requires something fundamentally different. It requires the ability to imagine possibilities that don't exist in any dataset, to make intuitive leaps that defy logic, to create something that doesn't just entertain, it rearranges you. The novel that makes you put it down and stare at the ceiling because it said the thing you've been carrying for 10 years without words. The song that comes on at exactly the wrong moment and cracks you open. The idea that makes everyone say, that's either brilliant or insane, and then turns out to be brilliant. That work doesn't come from a dataset. It comes from someone who has lived something, who sat inside a particular darkness or a particular joy long enough to understand its texture, its shape, its weight, and then had the creative courage to make it transferable. INFJs are drawn to this kind of deep creative work like they were born for it. Because in many ways they were. Their inner world is so rich, so layered, so full of meaning that when they find the right form to pour it into, the result hits differently than almost anything else. AI can approximate the surface of that, cannot plumb the depth. 8. The shadow side nobody mentions. Alright, let's get real. Because this wouldn't be honest if we only talked about strengths. The biggest threat for an INFJ in the AI age isn't replacement. It's erasure, specifically the slow erasure of their sense of value in a world that prizes what can be measured, monetized, and optimized. INFJs do work that's hard to put in a spreadsheet. How do you quantify the impact of a conversation that changed someone's life trajectory? How do you measure the moral clarity that steered an organization away from a decision that was subtly wrong? How do you put a number on the moment a student finally believed in themselves? You can't. And in a culture that increasingly values only what it can count, INFJs are at risk of starting to believe that their uncountable contributions don't count at all. They do. They count more than almost anything else right now. The second vulnerability is burnout. INFJs absorb emotion like a sponge, And in a world that is, let's be honest, emotionally overwhelming, that absorption can tip from empathy into exhaustion faster than most people realize. The digital world is a constant flood of other people's pain, outrage, and suffering. For an INFJ without firm boundaries, it becomes genuinely debilitating. The prescription isn't to stop caring. It's to be deliberate about where the caring goes. Treat rest, solitude, and boundary setting not as luxuries but as survival tools. The empathy that makes INFJs irreplaceable is also what makes them breakable. Guard it accordingly. 9. Where INFJs are doing irreplaceable work right now. Let's make this concrete. Because INFJs are valuable is a nice sentiment, but where specifically does that value show up in the real world? Therapy and mental health counseling. The therapeutic relationship is the treatment. As mental health needs explode globally, the demand for deep empathy and sharp intuition is only going one direction: up. Executive coaching and leadership development. The most effective coaches aren't the ones with the most frameworks. They're the ones who can see a leader's blind spots before that leader does, and deliver that insight in a way the leader can actually receive. Conflict mediation and restorative justice. Holding space for opposing parties, finding the human need underneath every hardened position. Helping people move toward understanding rather than victory. This work was practically designed for the INFJ mind. Visionary writing and long-form storytelling. The real kind, made from lived experience that cracks people open and changes how they see themselves. Education and mentorship. INFJs don't just teach subjects. They teach students that they matter. And decades after the lesson content is forgotten, that is the thing that stays. Advocacy and social reform. The sustained, unglamorous, morally driven work of actually changing systems. INFJs have the long-game patience and deep conviction this requires. Every single one of these fields is growing. Every single one is structurally resistant to full automation. And every single one is, at its core, an INFJ-shaped space. Conclusion. The last thing that can't be downloaded. Alright, let's bring it all the way home. AI is not slowing down. It is not going to suddenly stop impressing us, unsettling us, or reshaping the world of work. The disruption is real. The stakes are real. And the anxiety that millions of people feel when they wonder whether there's still a place for them in this new world, that anxiety is real too. But here's what's also real. The INFJ, the rarest type, the deep feeler, the quiet visionary, the person who has always lived a little further inside the human experience than most, is not a casualty of the AI revolution. They're an answer to it. Their empathy can't be compressed into a file. Their intuition can't be trained on a dataset. Their moral courage can't be coded into a guardrail. Their creative depth can't be generated by a prompt. Their presence, the actual felt, embodied, soul-level presence they bring to a room, a relationship, a conversation, cannot be simulated, replicated, or replaced. Not today. Not in 10 years. Not ever. What AI is forcing the world to confront, uncomfortable as it is a question that was always there underneath everything. What makes a human being irreplaceable? And the answer, it turns out, isn't your productivity. It isn't your processing speed. It isn't your ability to retrieve and repackage information. It's your capacity to care so genuinely that another person feels less alone. To see so clearly that you spot the truth others keep missing. To hold a vision so steady that people follow you not because you told them to, but because they actually believe in where you're going. That is what INFJs have always done. In the background, quietly, often without recognition or reward. The AI age didn't create that value. It just finally made it impossible to ignore. If you're an INFJ, you were built for this moment. Not despite who you are, because of it. And if you're not an INFJ, here's the lesson for all of us. In a world full of machines getting smarter by the second, the most radical thing you can do is go deeper into your humanity. Feel more. Think harder about what's right. Slow down enough to actually see the person in front of you. The machines are learning to speak, but they'll never know what it means to have something worth saying. That's still ours. Let's not waste it.